we're going down to Port Charlotte. Got a couple competitors competing. Thought we'd bring you guys along for a road trip. You ready?
Woo! America. America.
All right, guys, welcome to the vlog. We are headed to Steven's incredibly loud phone. Port Charlotte, Florida. So we live in Tampa, so it's about, what, 2-hour drive? I haven't even mapped it yet.
2 or 3, I think, depending.
It can't be 3. Naples
Traffic
is
through
3.
Sarasota can suck.
There's no traffic right now. It's the middle of the day. Anyway, 2 hours. I'm calling it. It's 12:45. We have to make a one stop. We have to go to Chick-fil-A. It's a road trip tradition. I didn't eat lunch. Steven said he wanted Chick-fil-A, so we're going down to Port Charlotte. Got a couple competitors competing. Oh yeah, don't you eat my fries, you son of a bitch.
Did you get a combo?
I got the same thing as you, except I got the chicken tenders.
I just got the sandwiches. All right, all right.
All right, so it was 12:45 when last we spoke. It's 1:07 and we haven't gone anywhere. We just went to Chick-fil-A. Look at this drive-through line for Chick-fil-A. Double line out the door. What are all these other businesses doing that ain't Chick-fil-A? Because if I was a fast food place, I would be like, what do we gotta do to do that? That's right, it's vlog time. Here we are in Punta Gorda. What does that translate to in Spanish?
I believe it means fat bitch.
That's a terrible name for a city.
I think it's great.
There's the venue right there. And here's the host hotel right here. So we're gonna go check in. Took us about 2 hours minus Steven's pee stop. And then maybe we'll catch up with some clients. That's it. Welcome to the Mel Chancey Harbor Classic Clash World Championships. All right, guys, so quick update into our room here at Spring Hill Suites. Looks pretty sweet. Got a king size, little sofa for my man Steven over there. We got a desk to work at. Good room. Spring Hill, good job, Nikki, who has been helping me with my travel arrangements. You're doing a good job, girl. Thank you. All right, guys, Ashton Alexander's here all the way from Seattle, Washington. All right, Ashton, she's doing both figure. All right, quarter turn to the right and women's physique. Quarter turn.
Housekeeping.
Excuse me, we don't take solicitors at this hour.
You want me fluff pillow?
Hello!
Stick up.
Hi! I have to go in a second.
Oh my God.
Showing real life what it's like.
Put my face mask.
What? We're in a hotel.
Society rules, I don't know.
I know, right?
How you feeling,
Okay.
competitor?
What does it look like? Bet you won't.
Steven's eating lots. Oh.
Guys need any access or anything?
I think we're good.
All right, guys, so here is Ashton walking out on stage for her figure class. This was actually the weekend of August 22nd, the Mel Chancey Harbor Classic, and I just figured it'd be a good opportunity to showcase what this sport is all about. So this is Catherine Godziki. This is what you call true novice. So this is Catherine's first ever time on an NPC bikini stage. Catherine is somebody who I foresee as being a very good competitor, certainly a pro, and it was really great to get her on stage. She had a little bit of anxiety coming into it, but she really did a great job with the routine. This is Lizzie Tarr, who was actually in prep with me since November. Because of COVID, we had so much work to do with reversing, and actually she was able to eat about 300 grams of carbs the day before the show. The thing about Lizzie is from day one, she has nailed her stage presentation. I mean, everything is flawless. Her presentation, her walk, her eye contact. This is her first time on stage, and you would never know it based on, how she posed. In fact, it came in very useful for her because she's new to the sport. She doesn't carry a ton of muscle. And it was very cool for me to see both of my first-time competitors competing together in the same class. There's not a lot of shows happening right now, so having them be able to come out to Florida and compete after a long season of not being able to compete, it was very nice. And, the big thing here with prejudging is this is when they're looking at the girls, comparing them to see where to place them. This is all the scoring. So as you see, they're just moving people around. Now, typically when you have these pro and national judges, which Sandy Williamson is the head judge right now, they tend to put the people that are placing a little bit higher towards the middle. So when I have my girls splitting middle, that tells me one of them is in first, one of them is in second. And I don't think there could have been a better result for their first time ever walking out on stage in a true novice class. So what the judges are doing here is they're looking back and forth. They're looking for conditioning, balance, symmetry. My job as a coach is to make sure that their muscularity, their conditioning, their fullness is all the best it can possibly be, and to put them in a position to pose properly. Actually, Deraja Hill was with me. She's one of the Pro Physique posing coaches, along with Natalie Matthews and some others. But yeah, I was thrilled. Show just started, and my two girls are splitting center. And to me, that tells me one is in first, one is in second. And Catherine had a little bit more muscle, and I think Lizzie had a little bit better conditioning and a little bit better stage presence. So we'll see how that goes later. This is a Masters competitor, believe it or not. That's right. I'm not going to say her age, but she's Masters, and this is Vicki Garcia. So I just figured I'd show you guys this sport. It's really for everybody. Bodybuilding is ultimately about getting in the gym and improving and planning ahead and committing to something and achieving goals. And getting on stage is literally just a few minutes of this process, but getting here just shows so much dedication. So finally, in the open class, we had Shanica Harmon. So now Shanica had done the Tampa a couple weeks ago and won her class. So the reason I brought her to this show was because Sandy Williamson, who is the NPC and IFBB chair for women, also the Miss Olympia judge, also the national head judge, is at this show judging. And I wanted Shanica in front of her so I could get feedback directly from Sandy on what I needed to do to get her on the national stage and turn her pro. So good job, Shanica. And what you'll see here next is the class that Shanica is in. Now, this show did not have a ton of competitors, but what it did have was a lot, and I mean a lot of talented competitors. There's Shanica right there in the purple. If you look just to her right, that is my friend Lauren Conlon's client named Josie. Josie has a ton of muscle, great conditioning. And again, as I said before, when your clients get moved closer to the middle, when you have a pro judge like Sandy, it's a very good sign. So the first person they moved was Shanica. They moved her to the middle. That told me that we were in a very good place. Now what they'll do is they'll jockey around, they'll turn and face the back, and they'll judge them from there. What they're looking here for is not so much the glute detail, but they want full glutes, and they want them to be displayed well. And what you see here with Shanica is she has a little bit of a tie-in, but she's still very full. We were able to feed her into the show, and as her carbs went up going into the show, she was able to come in very full. This is the open bikini class. So before you saw Lizzie and Catherine in the novice class, this is open, and there's Samantha all the way on the right in the blue. Open, you're going to get more experience, more muscle. These girls were all getting ready to go to nationals. The girl in the purple suit in the middle there, her name was Jordan. She won the overall at the Tampa a couple weeks before. The girl to her right in the red actually just turned pro last weekend at Junior USA's. So what a class. And Lizzie and Catherine were in the top 5 in the open class in their first ever show. Now, this is not my client. This is Jasmine Gonzalez, who is opposing coach for Deraja Hill and some of my other girls. In my mind, as good as it gets as far as posing and posing coaching in the IFBB. So I just figured I'd show you guys what real stage presence looks like. Jasmine really does a great job of putting her routine together, taking her time. The pros have a lot more time on stage to kind of show off their physique, show off their personality, and there's really nobody in the sport that has more fun than Jasmine Gonzalez. She's such a pleasure to be around and such an amazing physique. And she was in the top 4 in this show for the pros. This is Erin Stern. Now, Erin and I have become pretty good friends over the years. She is a former Miss Figure Olympia, has switched to the pro bikini division, and has been top 10 at both of her shows. She actually placed 10th at this show, which was the Klash World Championships. She was in first callouts, dropped a little bit out of first callouts, but still stayed in that top 10. So, it's been fun to see Erin transform from a figure competitor to a bikini competitor, earning her pro card last year, and now this is her second pro show. So I just figured I'd highlight Erin. She's an amazing person to follow, be friends with, just a good spirit, her and her fiance, Evan. I always look forward to seeing them. So obviously, Erin looks amazing here. And when you see her in person, you realize just how muscular and how statuesque she is. Very tall, very tall. And I thought I would also highlight Ashton's stage routine because she put so much effort into it. I can't put the music on, because when you have the music on, you get copyrights. But you know, one thing about the women's physique division is that they really get to take their time, and Ashton is very artistic, and so she got to put a lot of time into her posing routine, which you'll see here. So Ashton came here all the way from Seattle. Now, she did the March Arnold. So she has been in prep since March. We reversed for a while. She really wanted to come out and spend some time in Florida before going to a national show. So we made this the show for her. As I said, Florida is one of the few places that actually has shows right now. So she drove she flew all the way to Florida. But it's always great, you know, this Team Pro Physique has become so much like a family that we really look forward to getting together with everybody and seeing Ashton's routine. You can just tell how much time and effort she put into this. And I promise if I could play the music, you would see that it would go perfectly with the music. So great job, Ashton. And this was the placings. I did not know. I knew one of them was first and one of them was second. So here they are, the final two. And so I just wanted to show, you know, that moment. This is the moment where you find out your first place. So Catherine announced second, which means Lizzie, at her first ever show, won the novice, true novice, Class A. So what this means is in the morning they judge based for placings. Once you win a class, you then go against the other competitors in the other classes and you do what's called an overall. So you get judged again. And I think, you know, Lizzie's stage presence and shape, she has an amazing shape, really helped her in this. So if you see the lady to her left, also a true novice, but a little bit taller. That's what puts her in a different class. And, you know, a little bit more muscular. And so I did not know what the judges were going to do here. You know, it's a physique competition, but I think the fact that Lizzie's smiling more, has a little more sass. You know, this other young lady is just not as personable on stage. I don't know if that was what made the difference. And then this was the moment where Shanica found out she won her class, the open class. And this was 1 week before, about 10 days before we head to do the North Americans in Pittsburgh. So she has solidified herself as a national competitor. And then they had the open comparison. So this is for the overall open bikini title. And this was a pretty big moment because, you know, Shanica and I came to this show with this goal in mind. You know, we wanted to be able to compete for that overall title prior to going to North Americans. And if you watch the video, they definitely respond very well. The young lady in the dark blue there, her name is Destiny. She just got second at Junior USA's, and then they moved Shanica in as well. And the young lady in the red, well, she ends up winning the overall here, and she just turned pro as well. And I thought I'd show off Lauren Dannemiller, who was my client from 2015 to 2017, won the overall at NPC Nationals in Miami. Vlogging. It's video logging. It's an acronym. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are all done here in Port Charlotte. The Klash Championship Series is over, so we're headed back to the hotel. Might go get a little bite to eat, but oh, it's pouring. Welcome to Florida, Brina. Don't worry, it's raining. Give it 5 minutes. So congratulations to Miss Brina Martinez.
Thank you.
Third place in the pro show. I didn't mean to interview you, but I am.
No.
Brina's here all the way from Arizona, right? You're in
Yes,
Arizona?
sir.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to walk home, but I think we're just going to hang out with Brina for a minute, see what happens.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. This is a non-cardio time.
Well, for me, it's not going to affect my tan. For you, it might.
This is true.
Yeah.
But good thing that everything's over.
It is.
Right?
Well, Brina, I want you to meet Shanica. Well, it's Sunday morning and the weekend was a huge success. We had so much fun. This was such a good trip. Really enjoyed the venue. Steven got us some Wawa sandwiches. So we got about an hour and a half left on our drive back to Tampa, but so much good times. Luis was here, got photos of everybody. The show was well run. Anytime you have a Joe Pishkula, Mel Chancey, Tim Gardner, all the Florida shows are fantastic, but you know, just super thrilled with how all the girls did. Everybody went out with us last night. Nobody had food cravings.
A bunch of them are getting ready for the national shows, so it's just going to be a really good, this was a really good experience. They're not always great experiences, but this was A+. So, any thoughts, Steven?
I like this sandwich.
Deep. That's deep.